Greetings, chess fans. My name is Arturs Neiksans, and I've come back with a pretty special video with doing something I have never done before on my YouTube channel. And that is, I will be unboxing and reviewing a digital chess board. So I'm talking about Millenium eOne board, which comes with pretty affordable price for any chess fan. And there's going to be a special discount code, so you're going to have to watch the video until the very end to get a special price. And in this unboxing and review, I'll be looking how it works both on chess.com, Lichess, and also I'll even attempt to use Chessbase, which is a pretty amazing feature. So I decided to use both the desktop from my laptop and also a tablet, and see what are the difference. So essentially, it's going to be not only a review, but also like a tutorial, how to make things work and how Millennium works and what applications and drivers you need on certain platforms to make it work. So let's enjoy it. All right, let's unpackage the thing. Millennium eOne board is ahead of us. So as you can see, the packaging is really nice. So it looks beautiful. A black color, so this is how it looks like from the other side. It doesn't weigh a lot. Its total weight is 1.9 kilograms or 4.2 pounds. So there's a protective layer, like a decoration. Let me just remove it, and we get access to the main package. It opens up very easily. You don't need scissors to open anything. As you can see, there's, opens up like this very quickly. There's another extra protective layer to protect the physical board, and there it is. Very nice, compact board. Its measurements are 31 to 31 centimeters or 12.2 by 12.2 inches. Again, it weighs very, it doesn't weigh a lot, really. Like I already said, about 2 kilograms. There's the power button, and there's the socket for the USB connection. That's it. I mean, there's nothing else really from the other side, so you can't mix up like with a typical PC. So it weighs easily, doesn't stress you a lot. Let's check the pieces. These are the pieces. It comes together with an extra queen for both sides, white and black, so that in case you promote, you don't have any problems. They're made of plastic. They feel pretty small, but they have a pretty good weight, so they're not going to easily fall off the board. And the biggest piece is the king, obviously, which height is 5.5 centimeters or 2.17 inches. There's the USB cable. Pretty straightforward, actually, how to connect it. You put one side to the board, the other one to the laptop. It's going to charge about 4 hours. At least that's what it says in the manual. And then you can use the board for about, 10 hours or so. I didn't really test it so extensively. And there's the manual, all the technical requirement, what every single button means. So I would suggest you to study it carefully. But again, it's very, very straightforward. It's in several languages. The default language is German, of course, because the manufacturer is from Germany. I was more interested in the English language. There's also some others like the French, Italian. I didn't really check them all, but pretty useful stuff to get you going. Now that the board is out, let's charge it with a USB cable that comes together. There it is. So on the left side, we're going to plug in the cable. As you can see, there's only one socket. You cannot miss it. And the other one, we're going to input in either a laptop or a PC. I mean, I have a laptop myself, so it's not visible on the screen. The length of the cable is 40 centimeters or 15.7 inches. And actually, this is something I wish they had a bit longer, but I mean, then again, it's sufficient. I mean, if your laptop is right next to you, I'm not for video recording purposes, then absolutely there's no problem. You have to charge it for about 4 hours for the batteries to be full, and when you have charged them fully, you can remove the cable. As you can see, now there's these lights blinking, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 on the lower part. This means it's charging, and you can stop the charging once all the 3 lights are full. For some reason, during the recording, these lights are blinking, but they're not blinking in real life. I don't know, this is some weird video recording glitch. All right, let me turn on the board. Now I just press the button, and there you go. You can see all of the 81 LED lights immediately light, and you can actually decrease the lighting level by pressing the middle button. So probably we are about to also position the pieces on the board. There you go. There's again the sack with all the pieces, and just keep it charging and then come back.
4 hours later.
All right, it seems that the battery has been fully charged. I had left it for about 4 hours. These 3 lights, if they're on constantly at all times, it means you can remove the cable. As I already said, there's a glitch during the video recording. They should not be blinking because there were no blinking, but in the video it is blinking. So I don't really know what's the problem. So I disconnect the cable. Also, the lights disappear because now there's no charging. But of course, I still haven't turned on the board. You probably already remember where's the button. That's right, it's on the right side, hidden. So I just need to find it. It's somewhere in the middle. I press on it, and as you can see, basically all the lights immediately come to life. For some reason, the left lower button is not showing as turned on. I don't really know. Maybe this is not how it's supposed to be. And these lights on the last 2 ranks and the first 2 ranks, basically they signal the spot where a piece is missing for the starting square. And this is exactly what we are about to do. So we are going to position the pieces, put them on the starting squares, and as you'll be able to see, the blinking is immediately going to disappear, and as soon as a piece is going to appear on that board. So there you go. Again, these very nice plastic pieces. They actually feel pretty heavy, and they're not easily going to fall off the board. Let me just place one. As you can see, yeah, you see the light immediately disappears. And that's how it's done. Let me try to switch the king and the queen with the places. So as you can see, I put them back. Ah, there's a glitch. Actually, it was not supposed to be like that. You can actually misplace the king and queen. Okay, whatever. As you can see, it is possible. So, but let's just stick to the chess rules. And now we're ready to start the game. The first thing we are gonna try, we are gonna use the Millennium board on a tablet or a phone. It doesn't really matter. So I will attempt to run it on chess.com and Lichess. I decided not to try Tornello because I'm not really familiar with the platform. That being said, of course, you have to make sure that your tablet has switched on the Bluetooth, because all the information between the board and the device you're going to be using will be done via Bluetooth. So for Lichess, you're going to need a Chess Link app that is provided by Millennium Chess. And for chess.com, it's going to be a built-in feature, which I'm about to show you a bit later. So we are going to start with Lichess. So Lichess is connected with the Chess Link app. So you find it on Google Play Store, you install it, and there you go. Obviously, you can read all the welcome message. You're not going to miss anything if you're going to skip it. So it says you're about to install the application. What is it for? So let's read it and move on. The next important thing is your language. We're going to stick to the English language, but there's all kinds of other options. Now we are going to attempt to connect the board, and if your Bluetooth is connected, you should be able to connect it. You might experience some issues here in case the board is not found, so you can always scroll back and if necessary reinstall the Chess Link app, and eventually you should be able to find it and link the board. Now you see it's linked, so you find the button close, it's right there. I'm going to close it and move forward. The next thing is the color scheme of the app. There's 3 settings: light, dark, or blue. I'm kind of a dark guy, so I'm going to stick to the dark. I don't really like the blue. So let's select that, move on. The sounds is not super necessary. I mean, the board sometimes is going to make some noises, like if you win a game, it's going to clap, etc. You can leave it on. The focus mode also is something I didn't extensively test. I suppose it allows you to concentrate more on the board and remove some of the lights blinking, so we can also ignore it. The response delay, though, is pretty important. I suggest to leave it at 200 milliseconds, and this is for those who like to slide the pieces when making the moves. I mean, I'm just moving them, so for me it's not a problem, but if you're sliding, you want to make sure you leave at least 200 milliseconds so that the move doesn't register. As for example, you make a long move, you're sliding, the move already sends a signal, and it's a wrong move on the server. Now, the final step, what do we need to do before we connect to Lichess? Here is we need to input the token. First, you need to create a token on lichess.org. It's pretty easy. So you can use either the tablet or your laptop or wherever. You create the token and then you copy paste it right there. You just write it down and you're ready to proceed for demonstration purposes. I'm obviously not going to show mine. All right, there goes my Lichess token. I'm ready to start a game. Let's just proceed with the next button. So as you can see, it says the app now is ready to be used. And I just click on it, connect. And I'm going to connect to Lichess because the ChessLink app only supports Lichess for the moment. As you can see, I'm getting on the server, everything is connected. And I'm about to try out a game. So here there's all kinds of options. I can play against a human. In this demonstration video, I decided to play against an engine because when I was making experiment on desktop, I had to cancel some games because I had some technical issues. I'm going to talk about it a bit later here. So let's challenge an engine. I think most of the time it has to be a rapid game because I think Lichess doesn't support blitz games, but somebody please correct me if I'm wrong. So I chose 5 minutes plus 5. And let's just play a game and see how it goes. As you can see, the board immediately signals that black plays e5. I'm going to play something simple, knight of 3. So the board immediately transmits the move, so you can follow if there's any delay. I didn't really notice any significant delay, maybe something like 0.0 seconds. Okay, f6, what on earth is this? Yeah, so people normally don't play like this. I'm going to fight for the center, d4, e takes on d4. So I play the opening pretty quickly. And I think it's also a good idea that you give yourself at least 5 minutes and something like 5 seconds that you are not getting in a time scramble. You have time to execute the moves and think about the position. As you can see, I'm not sliding the pieces. I'm moving them normally. That's why there's this desired delay of the transmission to 100 milliseconds. I mean, I could be sliding them as well, but I'm just used to move them without sliding. So here black is doing God knows what. So let's see if I can find a way to immediately deliver a killing attack, d5, with a king in the center. Of course, this makes no sense. I'm opening that position, he takes on d5, and here notice that perhaps I might go for a cheapo. So I'm thinking about rook e1, can I do that? So he plays knight takes on d5, rook e1, threatening bishop b5, double check, and mate. So let's see if the engine is going to notice it. It's pretty weak engine. So, oh, c5, okay, thank you for the demonstration purposes. Let me give you the checkmate on the board. And what you're not hearing is the applause from the board that I did it, I delivered the checkmate, so this is how it goes. I would also like to show you how to use Millennium eOne board with chess.com app on a tablet. So first thing you're gonna have to do is install chess.com application. You can get it on Google Play Store. Find it there. Again, it's pretty easy. Type chess.com app or whatever. You're gonna recognize the green pawn, click on the install, and then you're ready to run it. Obviously log in with your username, account, etc. and try to connect the board. This, by the way, is my tablet. My son uses it. I think it's pretty apparent he has managed to break it. somehow, don't ask me how. And also for the demonstration purposes, we are going to use his chess.com account, but I'm not going to play any games. So this is the landing page of the app. Now the big question is, how do you connect the eOne board? Initially, I was struggling to find the option. Well, then after looking around, I discovered you have to go to the more settings on the right lower corner. It's right there. Then you go to the settings tab. So this part makes sense, and you find connected board. So it's an inbuilt feature by chess.com. Press on it, and assuming your Bluetooth is turned on, you should be able to find Millennium Chess, and by the way, other things that my son uses on this tablet. So we click on it, it should be able to connect to it, and it does. It immediately connects. Now we just have to go back. Unfortunately, I couldn't go to landing page immediately. Back. There you go. There's the landing page right there. And now a new option is gonna appear. The Millennium eOne board is visible right there. It's not yet connected, so you enable it. And that's it. You are ready to start the game and press on the green button. Now that we have attempted to play Millennium eOne board on a tablet, and again, it works the same on a phone as well, let's give it a try. How does it work with a laptop? And I'm using Windows operating system. So the first thing you are gonna need is to connect your laptop via Bluetooth to the Millennium eOne board. I'm gonna show it a bit later in this video, this connection via Bluetooth. Maybe I should have done it right here, but I'm gonna talk about the different software we can connect, and the steps are very, very straightforward. So you cannot mix it up. So first you connect the Bluetooth. The second thing is you're gonna need the Google Chrome extension called Chess Connect. So you can find it in the store, click install, and then follow the instructions. So it's again pretty straightforward. You cannot mix it up. That's the name right there. I'm gonna leave the link in the description. You just add it right there. Of course, you press on the enable, and then we are going to open up chess.com. There's this message you probably cannot read what it says, but it says that it's been successfully installed, this Chess Connect extension. So we go to chess.com, and there you go. Immediately a message pops out that Chess Connect offers all kinds of features, and that it asks you to connect to your chess.com accounts. Of course, I click on authorize, and we are about to start the game. Now that I have closed this window, which explains all the features that Chess Connect Google Chrome extension provides, let's see what are we supposed to do from here, because we still need to take a couple of important steps. So the first thing what you want to do, you want to find this extension on the upper right part and make sure you're selecting the Millennium eOne board, because this extension is meant for all kinds of e-boards. So make sure you select the correct one. So that's part number one. The second part, you see there's this button on the left middle part where you still need to enable a couple of things. So again, you find the board, you click on approve, and you are ready. Actually, there's one more thing here. Before we're about to start the game, I was not really sure if we needed in the options to select the digital board. So I kind of did it. I'm not really sure this is necessary. So it's enabled so that we are ready to start the game. And yeah, I think it's a good idea to make a rapid game, something like 10 minutes. Let's make it unrated so that I'm not suffering. And find an opponent. Probably for the demonstration purposes, it was a bit smarter that I would have been playing against an engine, because I can always either resign or offer a draw. So here I'm about to start a game. Oh, wait, I'm playing with black. So this means I'm going to have to move around the table. So my opponent already has played e4. So there you go. I'm just moving the other side. And as you can see, the board signals e4 is played. And of course, what do you think I'm going to play? Yeah, no big surprise there. I'm a big Scandi fan. My 5th chessable course, the Battle Tested Scandinavian Defense, was just recently released. So Let's see how it goes. Again, as you can see, moves are done the same fashion, so nothing really changes. So let's not continue to follow this game for too long. As you can see, it works exactly as the same as on a tablet. Now, let's try to do the same on Lichess. So chess.com works with a Chess Connect, and we are going to attempt to do the same on Lichess. So there you go, I'm typing lichess.org, and as you can see, it immediately prompts me to authorize my account with the Chess Connect. So again, it's pretty straightforward. You click on the blue button, you approve, and you are about to start. I'm ready to start my game, so before that I just inverted back the board from the white's perspective. And there's one more thing before we are ready to play a game on Lichess. First, you should notice that on the right upper corner there's a connection button. It's in the red. It means you're still disconnected, so do not forget this important step. So first step is, of course, your Bluetooth is connected. That you have Chess Connect extension, and the next step is you still have to enable this extension. So you just go over it, you try to connect, it's gonna attempt to find the board. There it is, you find it, you click on the blue button, you approve, and now it give it a couple of seconds. It says 1, 2, 3, now it's green. Now you are fully connected and ready to start the game. Everything from here is as usual. I think it's a good idea to start a rapid game, so something like at least 5 minutes plus 5 seconds. When I was playing on a laptop, I had some problems with Blitz games, so they just wouldn't start. So now you're ready and you're waiting for your opponent to accept the challenge. Now, something weird happened in my very first game. I was making a move and it was not registering. Then I noticed for some reason it's disconnected. As you can see, the left corner said it's disconnected, even though I had connected before, and now it registered. Now, this was a pretty weird glitch. I don't know who is to blame. Was it the Chess Connect? I mean, it's still an unofficial Google Chrome extension. It's not provided by Millennium eOne because they recommend using the Chess Link application, but this is just something you should remember, that when you're playing a Lichess, possibly also on chess.com, you at all times you have to make sure that you are connected and that this connection button stays green. Okay, here again the game doesn't really matter. I played out the opening, everything remains the same. One of the most interesting features that I've found how it's possible to utilize the Millennium eOne board is to work with the Chessbase, which is the professional software for chess professionals. I mean, you can play on the board and it's going to physically save the moves on Chessbase. I mean, this is what I saw in Chess Dojo's review, and I was very curious to give it a try, and it actually works. So you're going to have to install a couple of drivers. So the first thing, before we are going to install them, let's connect to the Bluetooth. This is something I promised to do before. So you try to find some Bluetooth devices. Make sure, of course, Bluetooth is enabled on your laptop or PC, and find the Millennium. I had some issues here because I was able to find 2 Millennium eOne boards. One was a computer, one was the audio. And with the audio device, I had problems. So I would not recommend to use it. Just connect to the Millennium eOne computer and it's gonna work just fine. With the audio, once again, it was not working. So you pair it together and you're ready to install the drivers. So there's two kinds of drivers. I mean, actually one driver, the other one is a program. Millennium provides a USB driver for Windows. And I'm going to leave all the links in the description. So there it is. You can download it either for Windows or Macintosh. You know, I've never used Macintosh in my life, so I can't really say if it works. I mean, as advertised, it's supposed to work. But the second part is you also need to install this small program, which is going to install a specific driver so that you can use Millennium eOne with the Chessbase. So you just click on the link, you unzip it, and you load this thing. You install it, and it's right there. It's going to find the Millennium eOne board, click load, and you should be ready. Now that we have done this, again, I think it's if it's connected then it stays in the green. You can minimize it if you want, but there's one more step. Under the board tab on Chessbase, you have to find the digital board, which normally would be grayed out, and now it's possible to enable it. So we click enable it, and as you can see, it immediately connects with the driver. Initially, I had some problems to connect with the Millennium eOne board. There were some problems with the settings. So if you experience some issues, you go to the configuration tab and make sure the Bluetooth is connected. That Bluetooth is as your main connection setup. I think initially I had something else as a default. So you click it again, enable it, and it should find the board. So let's give it a try. Everything is working just fine. So let me try to play a move, e4. There you go. It works on Chessbase just as fine. So I'm gonna show you a couple of important features here. So let's just play out whatever opening, maybe Sicilian Khan. I'm a big fan of the system. So we're gonna play out the main opening, c-takes, knight takes on d4. You can freely analyze this and then save it on Chessbase. Let's say, yeah, maybe Demonov works a bit better. So here after knight c6, let me show you what happens if we detract the move. As you can see, the notation rolls back, and we go a6. You see, it adds a variation. So I'm going to play c4. The variation continues on Chessbase. Knight f6, knight c3. Black plays bishop b4, one of the most principal choices, queen d3, etc., etc., etc. So I would like to show you a different line, and now I have to roll back move by move and actually get trouble to remember what were the specific moves, because normally I'm going forward, not backwards. So let me try to play bishop d3. As you can see, it adds another variation in the notation. So yeah, bishop c5 is the main continuation, knight b3, the bishop is going to retreat, and we can play it as long as we need. As you can see, this is how it works, and I find it to be a pretty cool feature. So that about sums it up. Pretty cool, right? I mean, you could use the board on chess.com, Lichess, presumably also on Tornello, but I mean, I didn't really give it a try because I'm not familiar with the platform. You can use the tablet or a phone. For me, they're exactly the same technology, or also a desktop. I was using laptop, as you can see during the review, and the connection is very straightforward. It's not super lengthy. It's always the same. You need to use the Bluetooth. The charging process is very obvious. There's not so many sockets to plug into. So, and this makes Millennium eOne board as the perfect digital board. You can take it with you, for example, when you going outside of your home. For example, you go to the park, you go to the friends, you take the board with you. It's not heavy. It's only 2 kilograms. You set it up, and if you already have done some prep before, like your tablet or your phone already is connected to Lichess or chess.com, it's just super straightforward. Like, you can get it up and running in like 2 minutes, basically. Yeah, so that's what I really enjoy about it. It's very user friendly, and also the pricing is very competitive. And this is something that you're gonna definitely appreciate. And to make things also a bit more special for you, since you made it to the very end of my review of Millennium eOne board, I'm gonna provide you a discount code for 10%. So if you're gonna use my discount code Neiksans, then you can go to the official website of Millennium Chess and purchase the board with a 10% discount. So you're welcome. You can now go and do that. And of course, if you have any questions, make sure you write them. I'm always very curious to hear your thoughts. Have you already been using Millennium board? Maybe you're using the other boards, or maybe you have like an opinion. How does it fare with some other boards? Very interested to hear your thoughts. One more note though, now I remember, the board is delivered to the countries in European Union, Switzerland, UK, USA, and Canada. So if you are from those countries, you're in luck. If not, maybe you can use a third-party store and try to get from there. So I'm gonna wrap up my review of the Millennium eBoard here. I definitely had fun while doing it. I was learning all kinds of processes, like this is my very first review of a product. So if you enjoyed it, please press like, and if you're not yet a subscriber of my channel, I would appreciate if you join the community. Thank you for watching.